The night was unusually still as I drove through the winding roads of Black Bamboo Valley. The moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the landscape, illuminating the dense thickets of black bamboo that lined the way. I had heard the stories, whispers of strange happenings and ghostly figures, but I had always dismissed them as mere tales meant to scare children. That was until I found myself alone in the valley, the weight of the darkness pressing down on me like a heavy fog. As I navigated the narrow road, I felt a sense of unease creeping in. The trees seemed to lean closer, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. I turned up the radio, hoping to drown out the silence, but the static only amplified my anxiety. Just as I was about to turn back, I spotted a figure standing by the roadside, a woman, her silhouette barely visible in the dim light. I slowed down, my heart racing. She was dressed in a long, flowing gown that fluttered in the breeze, her hair cascading around her shoulders like a dark waterfall. I rolled down my window, the cool air sending a shiver through me. "Do you need a ride?" I called out, my voice trembling slightly. "Yes, please," she replied, her voice soft yet haunting. "I need to get to my daughter." I hesitated, the stories flooding back to me. The vanishing hitchhiker. But something in her gaze compelled me to open the door. She climbed in, and I felt an immediate chill fill the car. "What's your name?" I asked, trying to break the tension. "Clara," she said, her eyes fixed out the window, as if searching for something just beyond my reach. "I've been looking for her." "Looking for your daughter?" I asked, my curiosity piqued despite the growing dread in my gut. "Yes," she replied, her voice trembling. "She went missing years ago. I can feel her close, but I can't find her." A knot tightened in my stomach. "What happened to her?" "She was taken from me," Clara said, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I've been searching for her ever since." As I drove deeper into the valley, the atmosphere grew heavier. The shadows seemed to close in around us, and the air grew colder, wrapping around me like a shroud. I turned to Clara, desperate for distraction. "Where do you live?" I asked, hoping to ground the conversation in reality. "Just beyond the woods," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But it's been so long, I can't remember the way." The road twisted and turned, and I felt a sense of disorientation creeping in. I had driven this route many times, yet everything felt different. The trees loomed larger, their branches clawing at the sky. I glanced at Clara, who remained eerily calm, her expression vacant. "What do you do?" I asked, trying to keep the conversation light. "I used to be a teacher," she said, her voice softening, "but I can't anymore." "Why not?" I asked, my heart racing. "Because I lost my purpose," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Without her, I'm nothing." A chill settled in my bones. "You'll find her," I said, trying to reassure her. "We'll find her together." Clara turned to me, her eyes wide and filled with an unfathomable sadness. "You don't understand," she said, her voice rising. "She's not just lost, she's gone." I pressed on the gas, the car speeding up as I tried to escape the suffocating atmosphere. "We need to get out of here," I said, my voice shaking. "This isn't right." "Please," she begged, her eyes locking onto mine. "You have to help me. I can feel her close." Suddenly, the headlights illuminated a figure in the road ahead, a child standing still, her face obscured by shadows. I slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching against the asphalt. "What the hell?" I shouted, my heart racing. Clara's expression shifted, her eyes widening in terror. "No, don't let her in." Before I could react, the child stepped closer, her face coming into view. She looked familiar, yet I couldn't place her. "Mom?" she called, her voice sweet and innocent. I turned to Clara, panic rising in my chest. "Is that her?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Yes!" she cried, reaching for the door. "Let her in!" But something held me back. The child's eyes were hollow, devoid of life. "Mommy, I've been waiting," she said, her voice echoing in the stillness. "Don't open the door!" I shouted, my heart pounding. "She's not real!" Clara's face twisted in anguish. "She is my daughter! I can't leave her out there!" The child took a step closer, her smile widening, revealing teeth that were too sharp, too white. Mommy, please, I'm so cold. I felt the weight of dread settle over me like a heavy blanket. Clara, please listen to me. This isn't right. We need to go. But Clara was already reaching for the door handle, her eyes filled with desperation. I can't leave her. In that moment, I realized the truth. The valley was alive, a living entity that fed on the souls of the lost. I was just another victim, trapped in its grasp. The headlights flickered, and the shadows danced around us, closing in like a noose. Clara, don't! I screamed, but it was too late. She flung the door open, and the child rushed in, her icy fingers wrapping around Clara's wrist. Mommy! She cried, her voice now a chilling echo. You found me! I watched in horror as Clara's expression shifted from joy to terror. No! You're not my daughter! She screamed, but it was too late. The child's smile widened, and the darkness enveloped them both. I slammed the car into reverse, my heart racing as I tried to escape the nightmare unfolding before me. But the road twisted and turned, the shadows closing in around me. I could hear Clara's screams echoing in the night, a haunting melody that would forever haunt my dreams. As I sped away, I glanced in the rearview mirror, and for a brief moment, I saw them, Clara and the child, their faces twisted in agony, trapped in the darkness of the valley. I pressed on the gas, desperate to escape, but the road seemed to stretch endlessly before me, the shadows closing in, and just like that, I vanished into the night, another lost soul in the Black Bamboo Valley, forever haunted by the memory of a mother searching for her daughter, and the darkness that claimed them both. But the valley had not finished with me yet. As I drove, I felt a cold presence beside me, a whisper in the wind that sent chills down my spine. Help me find her, it pleaded, a voice that was both familiar and foreign. I turned to the passenger seat, and there she was, a little girl with hollow eyes and a smile that sent shivers through my soul. Mommy? She asked, her voice echoing in the stillness. I slammed on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt. My heart raced as I stared into the abyss of her gaze. No, I whispered, my voice trembling. You're not real. But the girl leaned closer, her icy breath brushing against my cheek. You can't leave me, she said, her voice a haunting melody. You have to help me find my mother. And in that moment, I realized the truth. I was not just a witness to the horror of Black Bamboo Valley. I was now part of its dark tapestry, forever entwined with the lost souls that roamed its depths. The darkness closed in around me, and I knew I would never escape.